not? I've turned on the recording, right? Why it is taking so much time? Yeah, now it appeared. Yes, recording is started. So now what I will do, I will see which topic is for new topic like to start today. Then I will go through that. Arrays we have done. Type of arrays, multi-dimensional arrays we have done. So this is a question for you. It's for lab exercise. Priya needs help again. This time she wishes to store 20 invoices of 20 customers. Okay, with the amount of each of the invoice number, but she wants to store them together in one place. So how you will do that? That's like you can design a what you call object data type, and like class you can design, and there you can place and you can create the array of objects. So that is also possible. I will see if the example is there already. Arrays demo. Invoice problem I have seen somewhere. It's means the lab exercise. I will see. Anywhere you can see invoice kind of thing. Practice, sample demo, assignment, prime, Facebook. Where it has gone? Largest of three numbers, ternary operators, this, that. But where is that one which I am looking for? Palindrome. Let me search here. INVOIC invoice. So it found here, and you go there src. There are two files they have found, invoice.java and day2 also invoice dot. So let me open this. And there also it is in day2 range demo invoice. So let me open this. I think this is. This time she wishes to store the invoice of 20 customers with the amount of each of the invoice number, but she wants to store them together in one place. Okay, so what we have to do, invoice number and price. So what you can do here, you can design one custom class. This is different question, I believe. Let me check if we have something. No, this is not that question. The solution is different. So let me search for that. Search. Stop it. Search invoice. Search. I think both are referring to the same file. Only one thing, but this is not that one which I am looking for, because this is something different question. This time she wishes to store 20 invoices, store of invoices of 20 customers, and with the amount of each of the invoice number which she wants. So suppose that you have a customer ID, and then you have invoice ID, and then you have amount. So 3 fields it has, and you have to design it in the array. So what you can do, you can design a class, and then you can design these fields. So I'm going to do that, give you some idea. If question is given there, then how you will do that. So invoice CUS customer, and this I'm keeping in the lab exercise because it, move it, and I will keep it in the lab exercise. Into the lab exercise. Let me put it here. Put it here. And we are going to see that, what was the name of the file? Invoice customer, right? So what I am going to do, I will remove the unnecessary fields because this is something different question. I will remove those fields. So I have the customer ID, you see here, for 20 customers. So how you will recognize the customer? So by a customer ID. So I will have a field called private string CUSTOMA customer underscore ID. So by default I am keeping it as a blank. This is the way you can keep it as a blank. Then you have an invoice number and amount of all the invoice. So I will remove this. This is not needed. Price not needed. Discount not needed. Comments also not needed. Only 3 fields are needed, right? And the methods which getters and setters I can create. You already know how to create the getters and setters. So first design the variables, and just right click here, and then go to the source, then go to the generate getters and setters. Just do select all and just click on. So this automatically is generated, and you can design one constructor if you want, means if you are creating any object. So in that case, if you want, you can just design it. What should be the default value? So if you are designing constructor, just design it as a public constructor. Why public constructor is needed? Because if you want to create the object of any class anywhere in the project, so if the constructor is not public, then access modifier rules will be coming to the picture. It means there will be restriction whether you are creating inside the package or outside the package. So those kind of restriction will be there. So it's better to avoid the restriction. Just go for class name as public and constructor name as a public. And here I am trying to initialize 3 fields. So first is string ID, then we have string invoice number, third field is amount, double like this. So this the spelling error is string string. You see here, and now I will initialize this with this. So CID will be coming here like this. Then second is invoice number should be like this invoice number. total amount equal to empty. Like this you can initialize. So you have design part is completed. Now comes the implementation part. So it says that we have to hold the value of like 20 customers. So how you will do it? So if you go to the implementation part, then just I'm copying, creating a new class. Paste your customer invoice implementation. So whenever I am doing implementation, it means I am just using it in the main method, right? Without that, how you will come to know whether it is whatever you have designed is working or not. So that's the important thing, you have to design like this. So like array, you have gone through the array, right? How to design the array, and then what you have to do, you can do in this way that creates the object of, normally you are creating object like this, okay? This is one object creation, right? But there is a way of like object array. So how to design that? If you go there on internet and you check, because there are creation is one thing, then you have to initialize the variables as well. So each and every field, like it's a value is like there, so you have to initialize it. So how to create object array in Java? So integer you have seen, string you have seen, those things you have already seen, right? But there is a way of like creating object array. So that thing is very important for you, and I will show you that part. Because creation is one thing, then second part is initialization. Syntax wise, it is like that. This one. The only thing is coming change is the parenthesis is removed and then big bracket is coming to the picture. You can see here. You can see here, means our purpose here is like this. This is the customer implementation. So I've just copied it and replaced that thing, and since it is obj1 I have already taken, I will take like something like that. So I have to create it for 20, so I will give the size as 20. Just imagine this, okay? So now it will do 20 objects preference is created for 20 different objects. And how will access the object? So via this of 0, okay, equal to, and you see here the new keyword again into the coming to the picture, and then you can pass the object values, means whatever the values you want. So I have this customer implementation, I will paste it like this, and whatever the constructor I have in same format I will pass a string and double. You can see here which constructor I have designed. I have designed a string and a double. So I'm coming here, first part is should be customer name. So customer name I'm saying that CUST1, then comma, then in the again it is a string value, so you can use it. And second part is what? You go there, it is invoice number. So I'm giving some invoice number here, some meaningful values 001, like this I have given. And the price, the amount, the invoice amount total is how much? So I'm giving like 1034.67. Okay. Now why the error is coming? Remove arguments to match customer implementation. sorry, our object is this type. Sorry, I completely forgot. The error is gone. You see here what mistake I was doing. I was thinking that this class has to be, no, not this class. The object has to be created of this class, right? So this way I have initialized, and this is one part. Similarly, you can initialize it for 20 objects. So index with initialization you have to do. So let me come here.
So Rajiv, here we are giving the predefined values, right? But if we have that dynamic input, in that case, how this will be done?
So dynamic values I am passing, not predefined values. It means like you want to take it from keyboard.
Maybe, I mean, we can take it from keyboard as well.
That example we have seen, it via scanner class you can input. Means you
Okay,
can
so
do that.
here, yeah, scanner class, I know, I mean, for here as well, how we can do. Just one example, if you can show in the end.
I can show you. It means like what you have to do via scanner class, you can pass three values, and these values you store in some variable and then pass that variable for initialization. That you can do. Okay. Means for one I will show you, but let me complete this part. So this is the standard way. You can have, if you have object array type. So first define the object array size and everything, and then for each of the every index you just initialize it. So this will become 1, and this will become 2, this will become 3. So I will not take for 20, means I will just minimize it. I will take it for 5 so that you will understand. 3 and 4. So now we have here, let me maximize it and then change the value. Say that this is invoice number 2, this is invoice number 3, this is invoice number 4, this is invoice number 5, and here I will change something like, here I will change something like this, here I will change something like this, here I will change something like this. A different invoice. So you can see here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So index wise you have initialized, and finally what you have to do, you have to go for printing kind of thing. So since it is an array, so you can just go for printing very easily using for loop. Int I equal to 0, I is less than name dot length. You already know there is a variable automatically appearing for each and every array, and index is incremented I plus plus. You can see here, and now we have to print the particular array dot the particular field. So let me modify this as well. 3, 4 and 5. Take it here, this out. Array name dot particular index. So index is I, and then you have the methods. So you have the getters method for the particular field. So I have the getter methods. You can go there and you check here in this class. We have a getters methods for every. So say that I have to get like what do you call, customer ID. We have to get invoice number. So everywhere we have the methods. So what I can do, I can use any getters method. So get I will put And what I have to get here, I have to get customer ID and then plus I will get then plus symbol you put, then same thing you put here, up to here it will be common. If anywhere you don't understand, you can ask. So you see here, up to get it is common, and after that get I am using invoice number.
हाँ
It will
नहीं
print
बेटा मैं काम कर रहा हूँ.
then space, then plus, again up to here it will be common. So just take this part as a common and just try to print. So here it is amount. So whatever the amount you have given, it will print like that. So if I run this, you can just test whether it is working as expected or not for each of the each of the array. So this is something array of objects. You can see here output I am getting like this. This is working as expected. So now your part coming to right. Okay. Say that you have any object here. You have designed something like that, right? And for object creation, you want to pass the value, say that string type, and double type. So what we have to do here in the implementation part, I'm just going for one scanner class.
Rajiv,
Example of
I have different, I mean, the scanner class I understood. I have one more question. If here, let's say we have a defined list that we have to check. But if we have records, more records, maybe 100 or 500. So in that case, what will be the ideal case? Will we read from Excel or something? How we'll do that in that case?
see, first you have to get your data source, right? So wherever you from where you were you getting, that doesn't matter. It can you can get it from Excel, you can get it from any file, you can get it for runtime. That is okay. So you initialize it in some variable, right? And with that variable, you fetch the value and just pass it in the constructor. That you can do. Understand? So it's just a hard-coded value I have given, but
Yeah.
here you can pass the variables as well, right? So runtime it will be replaced like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you that example, scanner class, like if you have to use, because like here you see different data types are there. So for different data types, you have to some syntactically you have to change that. It's a bit tricky part, but I'll show you. Because for integer we have a different thing, we have a string we have a different thing method, and for double we have a different method. But normally people are just putting it in the what you call under the class and just using it. No one uses a scanner class.
No, my that's fine. I mean, my question was not specific to the scanner class. Actually, I want to get the idea if we have long list, then how it will be used. So you already told, I mean, this how this can be used. So because for array, I don't think input matters from keyboard.
Correct. You see here. So these are the methods you can use. These are the methods given, and based on the data type, you can pick up your which data type you want to use. We'll try to see some example. You see here. So this is for a string. This will something new. Next line will use for a string, and next int will be used for integer data type. And since we have float here, double here, right? So you can use double for reading the data type. And you just see one example should be okay. Like next line, right? Say that you have a string data type. You already have their example here. So you see here when you are using, first you have to create a scanner class object with the system.in. and then you print some message which will prompt during runtime. Then you have this line of code and it will read the data from the keyboard. Once you read the data, it is stored somewhere in the string value. You can see here, right? And then you are passing that value somewhere. Means if you have constructor, then you can pass that value inside the constructor. This way you can do. Copy here and I'll paste it here. So scanner class, you have to first import it. It is present under java.util package. That's the one important point. And you have to use customer name, enter customer name. The message you can print it like that. And then you can store it. Say that customer name. Then this is one part. Again you use scn. Again this is a string type. Print a message. Enter invoice number. And then you take this. The third is you already show here. Next double. This is the method. You have to use it like this. Copy this and replace this method, this one. So now the data type will be changed here. This will not remain the string. Based on this, this will be changed. This is not the invoice number. This is amount. And once you mouse over, create a local variable that be of double type. So now what you have to do, you have got all the values and consider that I am creating a 6 here. Now for the last one, I will read from the keyboard. Instead of this hard coded value, this is customer name. The value which I have read from the keyboard, I have stored in the customer name. So I will pass here. Then invoice number I have read in the invoice number. So I will pass here, and the value which I have read, it's the amount which I will pass here. You can see here now design part is completed, and finally I will do the printing part. So let's run it. So string and double, three values I have to input. You can see here it's asking for enter customer name. So I will enter customer name. Say that CUST your customer 6. Enter. Then it is asking for invoice number INV underscore 006. Then enter. Then asking for, oh, message is incorrect, but anyway amount is there. So I am entering 1234.56. Then I enter here and then see here the output how you are getting up. So this is something like you can design. It's up to you how you want to design. Normally people are not using this scanner thing because it's a time taking thing. So for less time you can use like this. This is the amount. So this is also a good example. Means you can use it or implement it if you want like this. So this is hybrid. Means you have the object array and how you are handling that object array. So you have 20, then you can just use it for 20. It's up to you. Now write a program to calculate the average of the elements of an array. Average of elements. So first we have to calculate the sum, then you can calculate the average. So do we have here or somewhere else? Prime number, or it's in the array, right? It's in the array, I believe. Sum and average of the array. How you have to calculate? For since it's an average, so it would be a decimal, right? So that's why I have taken the decimal values. You can see here. Double ARR, this double is a data type and AR is the array name, and I'm passing all the values. It's a creation and initialization at the same time. Sum I'm taking as 0.0. Even you don't put, it will automatically initialize, but better to initialize it. See, minimum is I'm taking that first number, and maximum also I'm taking as a first number. By default means I'm pointing this to the first number. So I don't know what is this, and you see here I'm creating a loop here, and in that loop let me do it one by one, otherwise you will be confused. Simple way I will take you to the next level. So what I am doing here, first I am calculating the sum. So how I am calculating the sum? I am iterating the array, and one by one I am just adding in the initial value plus the current value. So initial value was 0, so current value it will keep on adding, and after completion of the loop, this when it will come out of this loop, it will having all the values whatever it is needed. Why it is highlighting? ARR. The compilation is not here. Why? It's due to this. Oh, due to this it is coming error. Every error was due to that. So now you see here what I am doing here. This is a for loop, and this is the starting of the for loop. This is the end of. The rest of the things I already commented out. So for now you can ignore this part. And what I am doing here, I am just adding the sum, and then when I am coming out of the loop, what I have to do, I have to print the sum. So I am printing the sum, and then I am printing the total size of array. You can see here the total size of array it is printing. So array name dot length, you already know. And how to create the average here? So average is sum by divided by number of elements. So number of elements will be given via this. You can see here. So it will give you the number of elements, and then it will calculate. And these things as of now you can ignore, because I have commented out how to calculate minimum and maximum. And let's see whether it is working as expected or not. Just focus on this. What is the sum and what is the total number of elements and what is the average? So you can see here the sum is this much, total number of values is 7, and then that's why the average is coming. So this is divided by 7 and this value is generated. So this way you can calculate the sum and average of the array. You can see here, but the minimum maximum didn't ask, right? Write a program to print the elements of the 2D array. This part we have already seen yesterday, so no need to do again and again the same thing, but these things I will elaborate more. So now we have to calculate the sum. So this is one way, but you can comment it out and you can write it like this as well. So this is the minimization of code, the way of efficient writing. Sum plus equal to, this is same as this one. So it means sum equal to sum plus ARR of I. So this is just short form of writing, but you can, if you don't understand, then you can go with the standard way, but if you are expert, then you can also write like that. So this is more impressive way, means you can, if you are writing an interview, so they will think of, oh, this guy knows more, so you can put some impression. If you run this, it will be the output will be same. You can see here. You can see here. So 111.5 and the average is 15.92. So this is also one value. Now I'm coming to the minimum and maximum. So what I have done initially, I have said that minimum or maximum, whatever it is just pointing to this. Now I am coming to the logic of minimum or maximum. I am saying that if this value, that's whatever the array is iterating, if the current value is greater than the maximum, whatever the maximum I have initially set, so you change the maximum to the current value. That's the only thing logic I have written. If current value is greater than the maximum, then maximum will become the current value. So this is the logic I have set, and for minimum also I have set the similar logic. You can see here. If current value is less than minimum one, whatever initially I have taken minimum, then set the minimum with the current value. So this is the logic, and once you come out of the loop, then you have the minimum and maximum value, and then you can print. So we have this code written, and I will just print it. Minimum value, minimum, maximum value is stored in the maximum. And how I have calculated? Via this logic. Now I am running it. You can see here. So minimum is 1.5, maximum is 33.0. But you can sort it, like first you sort the array, and minimum will be automatically come on 0th place, and maximum will be automatically come on the last place. So you already know how to sort the array. So via arrays, just remember this, arrays dot sort method, and you pass the array, it will sort it out, and the first position will be having minimum value, and the last position means the last index. So you already know how to set the last index. ARR of, in the big bracket, ARR dot length minus 1. So this will give you the last index, and then you can just print it and then say that either it is working or not. So this is working. So this way also we have seen, and this is just an index based printing we are doing. Suppose that you have to print the entire array. So there are multiple ways, index based, advanced for loop, that you already know. So no need to discuss, but I'll show you just a small demo. I'm using the array name, and the data type of array is double. So I'm putting here double, you can see here, and this is something local variable, and after column like this, just printing this local variable. So what it will do, it will keep on pointing one by one to the each variable, and then it will print. So it is printing here, you can see here. So in this way you can use, and these are the some examples here. Now I'm coming here, you can see here, this already we have discussed, two-dimensional array printing. So no need to discuss again. Here I will discuss couple of programs, not all the programs, because this is lab exercise we have to do, but this is for your betterment, and you can go and just try it out. So write a program to calculate the factorial of any number using while loop. See, it's restricting here. Don't use any other loop, use while loop and calculate the factorial. So if you know about factorial, that is very easy. If you have to calculate the factorial of 3, so 3 into 2 into 1, so that is the factorial of 3. If you have to calculate the factorial of 4, it means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, like this you can calculate. So you take the number, calculate the factorial, and then just print. Okay, so that's the only thing you have to do. So I'm going there and do that factorial demo. So this is the factorial number where I have to calculate the factorial, and the multiplying value will be 120, expected is 120, and now I have to write the logic. So what you do, For calculating the factorial, I am taking a variable factorial. Initial value I am taking 1 because it will always start from multiplying up to 1. So even it is a 1, then minimum value will be 1. If it is a 2, then it will become 2. If it is a 3, then become 6, like that. So what I am doing here in this loop, I am taking I equal to 1, I is less than equal to x, okay, I plus plus. So what I will do, I will keep on incrementing and multiplying that. So this is 1, and what I will do, the initial value multiply by the value of I. So first time it will multiplied by 1, next time 2, next time 3, like this it will multiply. And once you come out of the loop, for loop, you're just trying to print. So this will be like that. So you see here I am taking a 5. You see, factorial of given number 5 is 120. So how 120? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. You just multiply, you will get the output. So there is another way of doing the same problem. So I equal to factorial. No, sorry, I equal to x. Initial value I am setting as a 5, consider that, and then I is greater than equal to, okay, then it will be I minus minus, because from 5 it is going to 1. So initial value will file and it will keep on multiplying like that, and then I am just multiplying the same thing. If I running this, you see how the output is coming. One was in the incremented order, this is something like in the different second order, decremented order. Right click, run as Java application. Something wrong happened. Factorial initial, oh, initial, before this I have to set the value again 1. Because this is taking the previous value, that's why. You can see here the output is same in both of the cases. What was happening here, it was continuing with the last value. So last value it was multiplying, so that's why the value was incorrect. So before starting of this loop, again I am setting the factorial of like 1. But see here, this is not the case, it is asking you to use while loop. So if you have to use while loop, same question I will do via while loop. Let me show you. Control CV, copy, paste. What happened? Copy, paste. This was done via for loop, it is via while loop. So let me remove the other things which is not needed. Okay. So increment and decrement I have already said. So I'm taking the second way. That's initial value I'm taking 5, then 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and I is greater than equal to 1, so should be okay. And let me run this. So it is giving the correct output, you can see here. So logic is very simple, just one liner, so no worries, you can use it. So in for loop and while loop, this is the difference, you can use it up to you. Anyone has any doubt regarding this question? Very simple logic. Yes. Meaning of this is factorial into factorial equal to factorial into I, and then I minus minus I have kept. So this will be evaluated first, then I will be decremented, because you know for loop we have to either use increment or decrement. So based on the condition. So this is the reverse condition, so I have to decrement it. And if you are using in a incremented order, you just increment it. Now next question. This we have already seen, right? First prime numbers. I think yes. Write a program to calculate area of the triangle. User will enter the values for base and height. So this also it's very easy. I will go with this one. This is the 50 Nike series, or 10 values you want. If the 10 value is completed, then you stop printing. That is not needed. But you see here, the first values, two
Rajiv,
values.
sorry to interrupt. One question regarding this factorial. So for factorial, if someone wants to print something in the middle of the list, uh, some middle number, so this can be also done, right?
Middle number means?
I mean, nth number, you can say. Uh, we don't know which number we have to print. We don't know what all the numbers are, but I don't know what my question exactly.
No, your question is that you have taken the x is as a 5. You want that input, that user will give the input, and based on that it will run, right? So say that I'm initializing here. You can give it from the scanner class from the keyboard as well, or runtime, and you can just pass initialize the x based on the scanner class, then you can run.
Okay, got it.
So you see here, if I'm passing 7, it is giving 5040. So much for a testing purpose, I can use it any value. Say that I'm passing 4. But if you want to randomize it, means dynamic acceptance, so what you can do, you can use a scanner class, just initialize it. It's just a 2 line of code. You have already seen that. Next int is there. You can use this. You can come here.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Just take 2 line of code from here and 3 line of code from here and modify it. So you import this. Right. So see here, it's almost done the way you wanted to implement. Enter a number for factorial, integer number. Okay, and if you run this, It's asking you, so just click and give, like say that 5 you given, 8 enter, 8 given, factorial the given number 5 is 5, 120, like that. Simple. If you run every time, you can pass dynamic value.
Yeah.
Right. So I was discussing about Fibonacci series. So Fibonacci series is what? First you understand. The first two number is fixed. Okay. It's 0 and 1. And after that, the third number start with the sum of first two numbers. So for next iteration, when you will come, the first two numbers become 1 and 1. Okay. For then it will, the sum will be 3. Sorry, 2. And then for next iteration, the first two numbers will become 1 and 2. So every time what logic you have to write, you have to reinitialize the first number and the second number. So that's the main thing you have to do. And for first time, you can just take it the static value. For next time, you have to write the logic. So you can do it. And it is asking you that give the 10 values in the Fibonacci series. So how you want to do that? It's better to use do while loop. Here I can see that do while loop is a better way to use it. Is it here? So Fibonacci series, the lab exercise. It's not there. So let me go there in the lab exercise, create the Fibonacci series. New class. Take the main method. Series. Come here. So int n. Up to what extent you want to print? How many numbers? So count you can take or n you can take. It's up to you. You see here int n1 equal to 0 and int n2 equal to 1 you take. So this is the fixed value. It's up to you how you want to do that. And do, this is something do while. int cnt count. Okay, cnt is less than, either you can directly put 10 or you can set that this much. So better to use variables, that should be okay, and just put a semicolon. So this is the basic syntax of the do while. What do we want to do? You have to first print sum. So before that, you print here s out n1 plus space n2. No need of do while, it's up to you how you want. Just I have taken that there should be some use of that loop. So I'm taking here n1 and n2 printed over here. And after that, in the do, what I will do, I will just print the sum. So let me calculate the sum and do one more thing. Means for next iteration, the value of n1 and n2 should be changed. So first print the sum, that is the main thing. S out let the take variable outside int sum equal to 0. I'm taking here, and inside this loop I will calculate every time the value. Based on that I will calculate. So sum equal to n1 plus n2. So this will I will do here. Here I will calculate and then I will print. I will print here, but once it will be there, then I just want to put some space. So I can put some space, then plus, and then I will use print, not println. Okay, and after that one more logic I have to implement. If you see this loop here correctly, every time n1 and n2 keeps on changing. So you see here, n2 will become n1 will become n2. Just remember this. And n2 will become sum.
Yep.
So whatever the value sum is holding, that it will hold. So in this way, this loop will be initialized and it will run. So let's run this and see whether the output I'm getting is correct or not. So you see here, I'm getting like this. Any loop you can use, it's up to you. The logic is like that. So this is the Fibonacci series. The first two numbers is like a static, and after that we have to apply some logic. So you have to print sum, then n1 and n2 will keep on changing. So this way you can use it. Understand? So this is something example of today's. Other programs you can try yourself. And for next class, we have this one, which is interesting. It will take like, I think, one class, because there are different patterns we will go through, and I have to explain that as well. So this is something interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone has any doubt, then they can discuss.
Yes.
No doubt, Rajiv. It's pretty clear for me.
Yes.
Then I'm coming to whether Amit, Chittibabu, Soumyadeepa, Vipra. Okay. Then I'm stopping the recording.
Sure, sir.